Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get rid of this nickel samurai. Okay, no, we can't get rid of him. He's our client. We're a lawyer. We've got a duty to protect him. But after the trial, we need to arrest him. Oh, right. How did I get into this mess? That's far enough! You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? Not again, Judge. Not again! What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title. He seems so sweet, IRL. I've had this dream before. Someplace. Some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. And the existential crisis he's gonna have. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 3. What a callback to the first case in this game, huh? Hello. This is Phoenix, right? He's calling us for real? This guy. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? Are you seriously talking to me on your on the phone through your wristwatch in front of me? Oh, he's not scared anymore. He's not scared of showing his grimy little face in front of everyone. You know you're still in public, right? Your public image is on the table. It's on the chopping block right now. If you please, Mr. Lawyer, remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Now listen up. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. Maya. Phoenix? Phoenix? Oh, Mia. Mia. Maya, how's Maya? I was considering just doing over her line, but it's whatever. I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia. What am I supposed to do? Phoenix, you're fumbling. Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your dang it. I need to slow down. For a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here. Not anywhere. It's that accursed on guard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Gumshoe, I'm really, really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not gonna give up. Gumshoe, until the trial's over, until the verdict is handed down, we're gonna do everything we can and find a killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. Wouldn't that mean us losing? That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? If you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're gonna give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix? You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. I hope so. March 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. No need to jump the fence here, Phoenix. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being, what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder? That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard. And then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes. One Kurita was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt On Guard. What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time. So I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm a Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, that's... I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him. In a way. Yeah. Mr. Powers, please. You don't need to put yourself down that much. Oh, sorry. Well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. He did? Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to testify about when you went to Mr. On Guard's room. Okay, sure. Witness testimony. Visit to Matt's room. After the awards ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. On Guard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap? Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just gonna have to charge in head first, right? Cross-examination. We're pressing, boys, we're pressing. The defendant's room? Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor. Like a big brother, sort of. And I wanted to say congratulations. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright. What is it? You are gonna try to trick me into a corner, aren't you? I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please, don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time. Witness. I will personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So, you went to the defendant's room, and then? Hey, wait a minute. When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? And he's not gonna answer the question! Balls. Are you sure that was Matt on guard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then he really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing, standing in front of his own room? At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Bottle of tomato juice. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. I guess I'm gonna have to wait patiently on this one. Maybe we can present the profile there. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt... Well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. You forgot what an asshole Matt on guard is, Phoenix! So, how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. So who are these guests you're talking about? You guys, of course. You and Maya and little Pearl. I thought it'd be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. This is like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Okay, we're gonna save, of course. I would like... Okay. Let's try pressing everything again. This is the bellboy statement. Man. Oh, here we go! Finally, okay. Matt gave the bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip? What's so strange about that? I guess we didn't press everything. Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. It sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. Well, we know about the tip now, so why don't we ask about the bellboy's face? Because then maybe we can bring up the profile of John Doe. What was so shocking about the bellboy's face, Mr. Powers? Well, he wasn't exactly a boy. More like an old gramps. I hope you know that discrimination towards old men is a no-no in my court. No, that's not what I meant at all. In the smack middle of the guy's face, there was a line of stitches. A line of stitches? Yeah, and it went straight from the tippy top of his head to the bottom of his chin. Almost like if that thread snapped, all the stuff in his head would come spilling out. He was there. At On Guard's house. He was that butler. What is it, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. So that means On Guard was talking with the killer den. So that means On Guard was talking with the killer then. If that fact were to be exposed, On Guard would be declared guilty in a blink. Phoenix, you have to play dumb here. Pretend you don't know anything. Oh, so we can't bring up the portrait. Yes, Chief. You sure you don't have anything you would like to say, Mr. Wright? Huh? What did you say, Your Honor? Nothing, Mr. Wright. Nothing. We're just going around and around in circles. Now then, Mr. Powers, please continue with your testimony. Edgeworth does not approve. Okay, what if we ask more about the bellboy's tip? Alright. Fast forward here. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court about how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't even know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. What would buy us time here? Do we raise an objection? Because we're still playing the field here that we're protecting On Guard. I think we raise an objection. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, Then why on earth would I be standing around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Carita. Then the bellboy the witness saw, yes, he was the assassin. You just gotta play this out. Oh, hold your horses now. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head, and I think I just figured it out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again, later on that night, when he kidnapped Maya! The telephone! What? Phoenix, you don't remember? You would be an awful witness. Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. Will Powers really took on Gumshoe's role here, huh? Witness testimony. The second time. This time, I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when the bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Oh! Okay, not the Maya time. Okay. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kind of out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin. I'm sure of it. I mean... You mean what? Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Uh-huh. But I'm not done yet. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer. Then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. No, we've got to muddy the waters here! That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. Cross-examination. Alright, press everything. Everything as in everything. And what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that. And then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time? You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought maybe I could catch Matt and say my congrats. Okay. And the killer wasted no time. He got paid and just zoomed into the room. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform, after all. But you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. This is not a discreet assassin either. So I'm sure it was the same guy that was talking with Matt. So, which room did the bellboy come out of? You know, I don't know if I talked about this on stream, but I was really mad yesterday. Actually, I think it was off stream. I was really mad yesterday because this assassin has no professionalism. He let himself get caught by this dumb boy himbo of an action star. He got recorded, blackmailed, and now he got caught by Will Powers. He's putting this legacy to shame. Shelly the killer? Talk about Shelly the shambles. Okay. The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, all right. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? It's a good thing we asked him which room and he specified bears and flowers, because it could have very easily been like a shift in perspective, you know? So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's gonna say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? Wasn't there a wine bottle and glass on the table of Juan Carita's room? Don't tell me he left behind evidence too. Man, this assassin sucks! I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or... No, try to pull a fast one! There's nothing strange or unusual about it. Wait, is this what we wanted to do? I thought he was gonna object here. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth, are you gonna do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request right into the palm of my hand. Thank you, Edgeworth. Knew I could count on you. Mr. Powers, if you could please amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Okay, so we'll obviously press here. So, you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand. And there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. So we want to present something for sure there. But it would still name him as the assassin. Would it not? Oh no, then we could push the narrative that, like, yeah, he was a bellboy and he delivered something to the room. Please don't be so quick to judge. But it's kind of a Powers family thing. Think of every person as a thief. Well, I guess a thief and an assassin are both sneaky and silent. That's not the point, Phoenix. In any case, if that bellboy was the assassin, it would be very bad for us. But he really is the assassin, you know. Yes, but you can't give in yet. If you want to prolong this trial for as long as possible, you're gonna have to pull some cheap tricks on this one. Alright, let's present the photo. Okay, where is it? We need Juan Corrida's room. Here we go. It's right there, the tray. Is there anything else that shows the tray, though? Better view of it, maybe? Don't think so. Okay, let's show the crime scene photo. Mr. Powers? Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches, and... So? A baseball has stitches? Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also... I mean... What about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it's a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at the time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say, empty-handed? I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, because Edgeworth interrupted you! What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? Really, Phoenix? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh, yes. Please tell us more. Okay. So happy about it. Witness testimony. Their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door. Just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left, without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. What did he give him? So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident? I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination. Luckily, we don't have too much to press here. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the doorway of the bathroom with my left eye. In sorta a sneaky spy-like way. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. I said hold it! Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Okay, ask about the something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please, try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk of another point. Namely, what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing... I want to go back one statement and ask about the someone now. Because I have a hunch I know where we're gonna go with this. And I think it's to bring suspicions back onto Adrian Andrews. Because maybe we can say that he was handing her the button or something. So, who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. I guess we're done with cross-examination. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. Oh wait, it couldn't have been the button because it has blood on it, and we know that it only has blood because it was taken after Adrian Andrews stabbed Juan Carita. So it couldn't have been the button. So what was it? If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. A wooden statue? A statue? Yeah, it kinda looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know? Looks like for this trial to proceed, I'm gonna have to come up with whatever this statue thing is and show it to him. You're gonna have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix. Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue with your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that? Okay. Hold on. Statue? Do you have an idea of what it is? Let's see. Statue, huh? A statue. A statue? A statue? A figurine? Figurine would imply it's small, but this one was like teddy bear sized. But it is wooden, so let's try presenting this. I know we haven't finished pressing everything, but I don't think there's anything left to press. What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up! It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is gonna happen once I show this. Were we not meant to show it? Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw, was it this item? Oh, hey! That's it! That's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Madame Guard's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the Killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then, he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then, the bear being found at Mr. Onguard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Onguard is the killer's client. Order! Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have presented it. Sorry, Mia. No, it's all right. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it's clear that there's no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Well, I mean, there were a couple statements we haven't pressed yet. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright. There are still a few points left that we haven't fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Testimony, the person who received the bear, or the bear itself? We could push for the person because we don't know their identity, but I think that would kind of hit a dead end. Powers' testimony, the bear itself? What questionable point would you like to explore further? Let's say who received the bear. I can't really make an argument for anything else. Because the testimony, yeah, that seems pretty obvious. Like, yeah, maybe we should just continue with his testimony. Maybe he can amend some more stuff. But maybe it seems too obvious. The bear itself. Well, but what's wrong with the bear itself? I don't know. Let's go with who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear. And that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of— Ah! Hmm? Hmm? What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're gonna scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, I remembered. If I remembered who took the bear— What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm— it was the Nickel Samurai's arm. I swear it. How could you not remember that the first time? It's very glaringly obvious that's not a human arm. It's crazy, man. This case is wild. You've gotta be kidding. Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Still could have been Adrian Andrews. At least in the story that we want to spin it. Order! Order! It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And, as we all know, Mad on Guard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we've made all that clearer. What am I supposed to do now, Mia? Help! You don't have time to act lost. You've got to find another angle to attack this from. Hurry! Now, I will bring this cross-examination to Your Honor. Again, Mr. Wright? We've already removed any kind of, any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time you were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I have to find something. Even one more little point will do. There are still questions left unanswered. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Okay, well, we tried the receiving of the bear. Bear itself or Powers' testimony. The bear itself? Why that bear specifically? This seems like a moot point to have brought up. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. On Guard's mansion. However, Mr. On Guard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he hasn't had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It's not possible that it was Mr. On Guard who took this bear to his mansion. Oh. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. I didn't consider it. Most definitely. Good catch, Phoenix. Nice way to save your ass. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Disaster averted. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Uh-huh. I remember it clear as day. I remembered what you muttered to yourself at On Guard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. The killer and On Guard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at On Guard Mansion as its butler. What a bold move! The bear figurine was brought back to On Guard Mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, On Guard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt On Guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you couldn't win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Unless he's bending it. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? He is a prosecutor. He could be bending the truth and then telling Phoenix he's got the whole complete truth, and Phoenix is being manipulated here, just like Will Powers. Come on, Wright. Just bend your version of the truth here. Well, do I? What should I do? We can't hear the verdict. We gotta raise an objection. We got no choice. I will now announce there's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now, we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at On Guard Mansion. I don't know where Phoenix is going with this. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. Okay, maybe I do know where he's going with this. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client, and therefore, real murderer? Sorry, Adrian! Adrian Andrews? Yes. We already know that she tried to frame Matt On Guard for the crime by wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Uh, then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. Sorry, Adrian! But what about Mr. On Guard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony, the defendant was taking a nap during the break. Sorry, Adrian. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. On Guard's mansion? It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Sorry, Adrian. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there's no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone tell us. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. Oh, he's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to, on guard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Did it belong to Celeste Impax? Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. Makes sense. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Oh. We're doing that, huh? March 23rd, 11:54 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby Number 3. Oh, I knew it was going to be a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian. Sorry, Adrian! I swear this demon will pay.
Mr. Nick!
Pearls? Where's Mia?
I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. Maya?
A really strong power?
Maya? Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is...
It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. That's good, pal. And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? Phoenix, are you just yelling this beside your client who you're trying to hate and, stall for? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time! If we just had one... Even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope for naught? A tent? Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent? Circus? She's at the circus now? The Big Berry Circus? Mia? It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside the window, about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The Very Big Circus! Yes! Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey! Draw a circle on that map! About a 300-foot radius from the main tent! Hurry! And... I could see a mailbox under the window, just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay. What else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building. Maybe the 3rd floor or so? I heard her! An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you all right, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescue. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Is it gonna... Oh, we're just continuing. Okay. March 23rd, 12:05 p.m. District Court. Courtroom number 3. I was wondering if it was gonna have us to be continued there. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. I keep losing his low voice. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Sorry, Adrian! Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You've seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Why? Why does she... Witness testimony. The bear figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. Oh, those puzzles are hard! At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. And here I thought this was a bomb. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. A jewelry box, huh? Interesting. I wonder if it's carrying, then, either the suicide note or their wedding rings. Because weren't they affianced? That would be sad. That would be really sad. More sad, I think, than the suicide note. The suicide note would bring closure to all of this. But the rings... So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It looks like there really was something to that bear after all. Don't act so surprised, Mia. Cross-examination. I've got smarts sometimes. A puzzle? That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they'd never guess this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? So you can take it apart? And how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right, and then push in. Oh, yes, I see. Oh, Judge is taking it apart, and he's never gonna be able to put it back together again. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is the most interesting. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. And... oh! Don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So, what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? Oh, she gifted this to Juan. It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you! That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it'd be perfect for Juan. Can't be the rings. Can't be the rings, then. So, it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. So, who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the 2 of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, So I doubt there are that many people in the same bear, with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container? Or a jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. Then the two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. On Guard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm gonna get for now. Figurine updated in the court record. A wooden puzzle with a hollow inside. Only Corita and Andrews know how to open it. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we've agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? Yeah, Judge, why don't you tell us, mister? I'm gonna take this bear apart in the middle of this courtroom, in the middle of this trial. That's right. That's what we are gonna find out next. Witness?
Yes?
You're the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. And? Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corita's former manager, Celeste Inpax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corita himself. But why? It seems Celeste Inpax had very beautiful handwriting. Adrian hasn't even had a chance to read it yet. And she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this?
Yes, I did.
She knew?
I heard it all about it. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Because it had already been taken by the killer. Oh, that's right, she did want to burn it. She did testify to that earlier. But we were assuming she still didn't know the whereabouts. So if she knew that it was in the teddy bear, or not a teddy bear, the wooden bear itself, Okay, that makes a little more sense. But she hasn't read the note yet, which is odd. It's very suspicious. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it's only appropriate the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. They have a typo. In her note, Celeste Inpax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. Let me say that again. In her note, Celeste Inpax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Unguard. About being engaged to Karita and Unguard's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. She really was heartbroken, wasn't she? Heartbroken, not just once, not just twice, but 3 times. The first time when she was dumped by On Guard. Second time when her marriage fell through. Third time when she gave up on herself. That's hard, man. And that's all Miss Npax had to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! Matt on Guard values, above all else, his refreshing like a spring breeze image. Which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Celeste's suicide note added to the court record. Found inside the figurine. It tells of On Guard's horrible misdeeds. It's On Guard's fault that woman killed herself. And this time he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. How terrible. What a selfish person. I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who'll defend these creeps too. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. DeKiller's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe, somehow, I can find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry! The suicide note or the figurine? Oh, sorry, this is Phoenix. The suicide note or the figurine? Which one of these should I pursue? The suicide notes, because we don't know anything about it. We could also say like On Guard didn't know that it was in there. He doesn't even know how to open the puzzle. Please, wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Matt On Guard killed in order to obtain this note. Yes, that's correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Kurita until the night of the murder. If that's the case, I say that Matt On Guard could not have known what was written on this note. Yes! Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. Order! Order! You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt On Guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, Juan Kurita, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt On Guard. Order! Order! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of? Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you're confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. This is the one that was in Matt's room. Oh, in his house! Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Gumshoe's bug sweeper? By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Oh, okay, so that wasn't one that Juan Carita planted. That was just a spare camera that Matt had. Matt on guard's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. On Guard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shh, stop, don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're gonna do next? What I'm gonna do next? Just running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? Something to investigate? The chip? I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? All right, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia's talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? Present evidence! I have an objection, Your Honor. Also, we're gonna save. We've come so far without saving, you guys. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. He's like, oh, here, let me clear that up for you. let me fix my mistake. Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this isn't like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, man, this word for word. Come up with something new, Phoenix. Come up with something original. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So, you're telling me that I forgot something? You were so close, Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. This, right? The transmitter? Changes the footage, right? Present. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. I do believe some special examination is needed. But I think the item that should be examined is the defense's gray matter. Whoops. Oh, it was wrong! Mr. Wright, after this trial is over, I would like to see you in my chambers. I think there are a few things we need to discuss. Yes, Your Honor. If you're going to speak, at least use your brain to make something up. Wait. At least use your brain to make up something intelligible. So, okay, let's try again. Let's try this again. Okay, alright. Is it... Is it just like the actual spy camera itself? Because we technically don't have the data from the recording. And he's saying specifically, there's something you should have examined about this piece of evidence. So they're all just talking about the spy camera, right? Oh, it's not. That's not it either. That's not it either, you guys. That's not it. Wait, let's just load back in. What would we examine in regards to spying? Him taking out the suicide note? Would he have seen the bear? Wait, do we... Okay, so we can present either the figurine or the suicide note here. Would he have seen the figurine in frame at all, at any time? Like, in order to take it apart? Because even if the suicide note was in frame, he wouldn't have seen it. Like, he wouldn't have been able to read the contents. So I think the bear here makes more sense than the suicide note. So let's present that. If we're wrong... Oh, it's wrong. Okay. We got this. We know what it is now. Okay. That is Miss Impax's suicide note, right? Who knows? Are you trying to spin this to say that this note is falsified? That it's a fake? I mean, sure. This suicide note was found inside the bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh, so as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Oh. Okay, I wasn't even thinking about checking the handwriting to see if it matched. Mr. Wright! Are you saying the suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews. Sorry, Adrian! You were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. On Guard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you! Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. There's so much drama! But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person, other than the victim, who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on guard.
I did no such thing!
Right, if you're going to pronounce the suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. He Uno reversed him!
That's crazy. I never thought Phoenix would have the balls to do that to our edgy boy.
That's enough! Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note? It's as the defense has stated. The handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again, we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible!
This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is gonna carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. Oh my god, what's gonna happen?
I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate.
Handwriting analysis, my butt. That's just the lawyer trying to buy more time. On guard is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty! 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 Guilty!
You don't silence your phone in the courtroom, Phoenix? You're working! What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello? Gumshoe?
What is with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm gonna keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Guilty! 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 This is gonna keep going, man. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that.
Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, you could have banged your gavel and stopped everyone from yelling. You could have called order to the court here.
I am about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after.
Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch! That was so cheesy. That was so cheesy.
Mr. Edgeworth? Please, you've gotta buy us more time! Court is in session. He just hung up on him. Poor Gumshoe, he's never had a chance. Never even had a chance with Edgeworth. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying? Mr. Wright! This is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Come on, Edgeworth, object. Come on, you gotta help me out here. Yes! Please wait, Your Honor. I knew I could trust you, Edgeworth. I knew it! You've got my back 100%. You really are my boyfriend slash fiance slash husband. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. Yes! March 23rd, 2:04 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby Number 3. Right? Right. Well, what's going on with Maya's situation? The killer. It looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Unless he can? Report. Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time. Just spit it out. Right! It looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. Oh, Gumshoe. You vigilante of justice, you. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. With my hunk of junk car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry. I'll be there. Wait for me. All right. Just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one! I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. Okay, maybe don't do that. Items left by the murderer, huh? Also, it was red. Is Gumshoe gonna get an accident? I hope not. Dear God, I hope not. Maybe there's something among them that'll be decisive enough to end this. No! No! Gumshoe! Hey! What's wrong? Detective Gumshoe? Answer me! No one can stop me. Damn it. I shouldn't have said anything. I had to go and open my big mouth. What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone's broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No, we can't let that happen. Well, if there is a way, we can find out where he is. Then we stand a chance. Why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Phoenix, don't you feel sorry for the man? He had decisive evidence for you to help Maya. For you! Have some sympathy for the man. Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? I mean, we have to say there's a way. That's right. There is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Through this? The... What? Through this? There is nothing in our evidence. Through what? Phoenix, a little more context clues, please. Stolen by the murder, camera, transceiver, maybe? Transmitter, transceiver. Maybe he had the radio on him. Maybe. That's a maybe though. That's not for sure. That's present. Right, we're not in the middle of a mock trial here. I guess this won't work, huh? I guess it's up to me. Alright, I'll think of something on my end. Don't get your hopes up too high, but I'll try my best. Did I say something wrong? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right? It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears, whether you did your job well enough or not. That can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. A verdict. Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. Okay, so what we did was wrong, right? In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. To be continued. I don't think we're getting that evidence, guys. Save your progress? I think we should save in a separate save file. Oh no. But it didn't let us try again. Maybe we just didn't have anything.